Call to order, Open Public Meeting Act, according to the Open Public Meeting Act, this being on May 22nd, 2024, was sent to our town and record and published on January 21st, 2024, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building and on Rochelle Park's website and Facebook page, and has remained continuously posted as a required notice under the statute and is being recorded and videotaped. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public. It is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Peachy. Here. Committeewoman Artola. Here. Committeewoman Judge Crivello.
Here.
Committeeman Miller.
Here.
Mayor Becerra.
Here. Everybody please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence, please. Thank you. This time, I'd like to read a proclamation into the record for the LGBTQIA+ Pride Month, June 2024. Whereas Rochelle Park wishes to honor the history of LGBTQIA+ liberation movement and to support the rights of all citizens to experience equality and freedom from discrimination, and whereas all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights, LGBTQIA+ citizens have had immeasurable impact to the culture, civic, and economic success of our country, and whereas the township is committed to supporting visibility, dignity, and equity for LGBTQIA+ people in our community, and whereas while society at large increasingly supports LGBTQIA+ equality, it is essential to acknowledge that the need for education awareness remains vital to end discrimination and prejudice, and whereas this nation was founded on the principle that every individual has infinite dignity and worth, and the Township of Rochelle Park calls upon the people of this municipality to embrace this principle and work to eliminate prejudice everywhere it exists. And whereas celebrating Pride Month influences awareness and provides support and advocacy for the members of the LGBTQIA+ community, and is an opportunity to take action and engage in dialogue to strengthen an alliance, build acceptance, and advance equal rights. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Vincent Paccetti, Mayor of the Township of Rochelle Park, on behalf of the governing body, hereby proclaim the month of June 2024 as Pride Month in Rochelle Park in support of the LGBTQIA+ community. If anyone likes a copy of this, you can see the township and we'll provide it. Any correspondence?
Yes. We received an invitation to Township Committee for an Eagle Scout ceremony June 29th at 2 p.m. here in the Senior Center, and it's honoring Christopher Alvarez for achieving the rank of Eagle Scout, and he did a beautiful job on the gazebo outside. And just if you can text his mom, her number's on the invitation, to let her know if you guys can attend.
Wonderful. Thank you. Ask for a motion for approval of the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
You're going to make a motion to amend?
Oh, yeah, motion, I'd also like to make a motion to amend the agenda and move closed session up for professionals since we're on the clock and we are paying.
I'll make the motion.
Take it a second.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Peachy? Yes. Committeewoman Artola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Judge Crivello?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
And Mayor Becerra.
Yes.
Okay, now you need a motion to go into.
Taking a motion to go into closed session.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Session.
So for the public's benefit, we will be taking formal action after closed session. First, I'd like to ask for a motion authorizing the bill to proceed in the session. We can have it closed. I'll talk it to you.
Yes, she was just.
Motion to come out of closed.
Ask for a motion to come out of closed session.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, ask for a motion We'll walk down the resolution authorizing Doug Doyle to proceed into discussions regarding 120
In closed session.
in closed session.
So it's a motion to authorize Doug Doyle to proceed in the manner that was discussed in closed session with regard to 120 West Passaic. That's the motion, Mayor?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make the motion. Okay, I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Peachy?
Yes.
Committeewoman Artola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Judge Covello?
Abstain.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacini?
Yes. Any discussions? No discussions?
Move on to the votes.
All right, move on to administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Try to keep it short and sweet. We did receive $75,000 of our flood mitigation grant. That's $75,000 of the $100,000 legislative grant. Once we can show that we spent down some of that money, we'll get the additional $25,000, which again was assigned towards the pump station project. I have an update on Howard Avenue because I know it's been sitting idle. The contractor completed the additional test pits. Boswell's in the process of finalizing the revised design based on the information confirmed as a result of those test pits. They anticipate completion by the end of the week with the revised plans. We'll then provide this to the construction company and coordinate with them on a restart date based on material availability. They'll reach out, Boswell will, once they have that information to provide to us. I think that's all I have right now, Mayor.
Thank you. Committee's report. Please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here, let me just start off. Let me get my report here. So, the school had a resolution or passed to recognize Teacher Appreciation Week, Special Education Week, National School Nurse Day, and Administrative Professional Day, and congratulations to all of them being recognized in the school district. The seniors will be having a meeting, and they'll be held tomorrow at 1 p.m. in the senior center. DPW. So the DPW picked up a litter in the parks and on town property on a daily basis. They have finished spreading mulch around flower beds and preparing for Memorial Day. Spot checked all our sewer systems on a weekly basis for clogs. Before any problems do happen, there was 3 sewer backup calls, I believe, that came through. The street sweeper, say that 3 times fast, has been out quite a bit because of the pollen and the tree debris. A total of so far 45 hours. They're still cleaning the sewer lines and prepping for Memorial Day, and they will start back. They stopped doing it right now for Memorial Day, and they'll start back next week. They assisted recreation with setting up for Rochelle Park Day, and during that they cleaned up the litter in the park. Now, DPW had taken a video of a tree trunk line that services the sewers from south side of Rochelle Park, which is over by the tracks over that way. During the video, they found some structural breakages in the sewer pipe in 2 different sections that runs behind Windsor Court. They had tree roots in this breakage. So it's a significant amount of groundwater going into the sewer system from these breakages. So obviously, it was a recommendation of Dave Brown, the superintendent of DPW, that they need to get this line fixed ASAP and have the whole length from Railroad Avenue back of the DPW building relined so they don't have this issue moving forward. The pump station was vacuumed out of solids that get caught up in the wet wall. Rags and silt are the biggest issues they have. They had 22.78 tons of debris removed. 22.78 tons of debris. That's a lot of debris. And PSE&G has planted a total of 24 trees on Olden Street, leaving 6 trees for a total of 30 trees that were given to us. Also, this is the week of National Public Works Week. Congratulations to the Public Work, DPW, for all the work they do. They do a tremendous job all year long. And as we can always see with our streets plowed beautifully when we do get the snow, we appreciate everything that they do. So that's all I have right now. Thank you.
Committeeman Bell?
Thank you. In April, the court issued 377 traffic tickets and handled 14 criminal complaints, resulting in a total court revenue of $15,868 for the month of April. The Bergen County Utilities Authority will hold tire recycling, mobile paper shredding, and electronics plus computer collections at Bergen County Camp Mountain Reservation in Mawa on Saturday, June 1st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., rain or shine. The library has received 61 responses to their recent strategic planning survey, with 53 respondents being Rochelle Park residents, mostly living in the community over the last 10 years. Common programming suggestions included yoga and animal programs. The library currently does offer in-person yoga classes on Friday at 10:30 a.m. and will host a Read to a Dog event on Saturday, June 8th at 12 o'clock noon. In honor of Pride Month, Team Rochelle Park is hosting a sip and paint event at the Spotted Canvas in Maywood on Friday, June 7th at 6:30 p.m. For more information on securing your spot at this community event, please visit teamrochellepark.org. The Access for All Committee met last week. There was discussion on the structure and function of the committee, which led to the committee appointing Walter Houghton as chairman of Access for All, Pete Donatello as vice chair, and Michelle Ballack as secretary. The bylaws for the Access for All committee will be reviewed and discussed at the June 19th Access for All meeting. The Access for All committee also set up a tent at Rochelle Park Day, providing information to residents, and the committee thanks Recreation for their help with transporting materials and setting up the tent. I had a lot of fun with my kids at Rochelle Park Day, and I'm looking forward to the parade on Monday. That's all from me. Thank you so much.
Committeewoman O'Toole?
Okay. Last week, I also attended Rochelle Park Day. Thank you to the police, volunteer fire department, OEM, and CERT who set up tents to greet residents and kids. Most of all, thank you to all the volunteers who made this event possible. It takes a lot of work and a lot of planning for the recreation team to make this day a success. Thank you. Congratulations to Brandon Pomerico on becoming Rochelle Park's newest Eagle Scout. I attended his ceremony a few weeks ago, and it was absolutely beautiful. We are proud of the work he has done for our community. Congratulations, Brandon. We look forward to the upcoming Eagle Scout project that are in the works by other boys in Troop 114. I attended the local emergency planning committee meeting led by our Office of Emergency Management, Pete Donatello. We discussed ways to help our residents to be informed and prepared for potential emergencies, specifically flooding. Please join us for our Memorial Day events. 8 o'clock Memorial Day Mass at Sacred Heart Church, 9:30 the American Legion Post 170 Memorial Service at the Monuments by Midland School, 11:30 is the parade, and around 12:30 after the parade, refreshments, music, and clowns at Post 170 Pavilion. Our annual flood awareness program will be on Thursday, May 30th. Please attend and please spread the word. It is important that our neighbors who live in the flood zone attend. Last night, I helped the fire department stuff envelopes for their fund drive, and there is notification about the flood meeting in that, so be on the lookout in your mailbox for the flood flyer. And for the police department, we have a total of 1,383 calls for service that were answered for the month of April. 148 motor vehicle stops were conducted with a total of 456 summonses or warnings issued. 33 suspicious persons, vehicles, and occurrences were investigated. A total of 9 adult arrests were made, encompassing 19 different criminal charges. These criminal arrests were highlighted by the arrest of 2 individuals responsible for the theft of over 100 shopping carts from ShopRite Rochelle Park. The arrest and press release led to viral response on social media platforms, and the police department received recognition on national news platforms. The elderly duo were charged with burglary, theft, receiving stolen property, and possession of property derived from criminal activity. Social media followers, please pay attention to our new online campaign, Cops and Shops. Each Friday, we will utilize Facebook and Instagram to feature a business in town. Officers will highlight business owners, products, and services offered, and post a message from their proprietors. Any businesses interested in participating, please message us on social media. During the month of April, our officers attended several community events, including an ice cream social hosted by Access for All, an Eagle Scout ceremony at the American Legion, and opening day at Matthews Fields, where Chief Pinto threw out the first pitch. The entire department, for training, the entire department were trained in active shooter training at Midland School. Detective Sergeant Shacken and Mercoon attended cryptocurrency training at the Bergen County Academy. Lieutenant Kinkowski and Sergeant LeBoy attended a case law update in Maywood. Police Officer Ferrulli attended Alcatraz certification class with the New Jersey State Police. Sergeant Galena attended first line supervision class at Passaic County Academy. Sergeant Rendix and Police Officer Aurelia completed Honor Guard camp at Bergen County Academy. Officer Saldivia completed a week-long SWAT training with the Tomahawk Group. And Lieutenant Stapleton attended the New Jersey Emergency Preparedness Conference in Atlantic City. As the spring season ramps up, expect an increase in roadway construction. Please subscribe to Rave Alert and our social media platforms for traffic alerts, detours, and advisories. Rochelle Park Day was May 18th, and our community outreach officers were there to on hand for conversations, questions, and giveaways. I think we need to order more junior badges. They were a very popular item among the youth. Police are currently planning for a Memorial Day parade on May 27th. Please check social media and Rave Alerts for important traffic updates.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor.
Rochelle Park Day was May 18th, and unfortunately I couldn't be there this year, but was told it was a huge success. Thank you to our Recreation Department, Police Department, Fire Department, EMS, OEM, and DPW for helping to make this another successful event for our residents. Recreation will be hosting its first movie night under the stars on Saturday, June 22nd at 8:30 p.m. with a rain date of June 23rd at 8:30 at Carlock Field. Rochelle Park Razorbacks has posted that they're looking for volunteer coaches for the fall program, and they'll be rolling out the registration for the program within the next few weeks. That's all for me.
Rochelle Park Fire Department responded to 27 calls in the month of April. For example, two building fires, removal of victims from stalled elevators, gas leak, power lines down, several others. Members logged a grand total of 254 hours in the month of April. Members logged 116 hours on call in the month of April. April 12, 2024, Rochelle Park Department responded to Garfield second alarm fire. Command requested them to the scene. Crew assisted with the overhaul and knocking down hot spots on the second floor and third floor. Construction report, permits issued were 23, UCC inspections 42, total value of construction $1,036,705. Permit fees collected $30,139. Permit fees waived 0. Zoning permits $2,410. Zoning inspections were 2. Zoning applications 29. Zoning violations were 1. Continuous certificate of occupancies, $725. Standalone inspections were 29. Property maintenance issues, 12. Complaints, 110. CCO inspections, 12. Total fees collected, $33,274. Year-to-date revenue, $205,511. And that's it. Any attorneys?
Nothing from me there.
Clerk's report?
Just that the townwide garage sale is June 1st and 2nd. Sign up online before May 29th because we want to post it. We'll post the list online by May 31st.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask for a motion to open up a public portion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye. At this time, we'll open up for the public portion. Please try and limit yourself to 3 minutes. Committee members, please wait till all questions are asked to answer. At this time, we are open for public portion.
Ed Kaniski, 6 Lincoln Avenue, Rochelle Park. Couple of questions. I don't know if this is the right time to ask, but I'd like to see a separate discussion on a couple of your agenda items. I don't know if this is the right time to ask for that. Specifically, Oprah. I'd like a discussion on that and not done automatically under consent or whatever you call it, and also on lead-based paint. That's it.
We could explain those, I think, if, before we vote on them.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Let me interject. I'll do the easy one first. Lead-based paint. I need 2 clarifications. One is, does that apply only to rental units, or does it apply to ownership units?
I believe it's rental units, yeah, it's rentals.
It's within the state
For
statute.
the state statute, yeah. The passing of this came upon the state statute. It was required municipalities to pass this. This is something in the ordinance that we're passing is modeled by the state. We received it from the state. So yes, it's rental units and that means any rental units. So it'll be single, double, multi.
Okay. Next question, and they're somewhat related. Was there any discussion? I'm not allowed to ask questions. I think there should be some discussion of how much it would cost for people to do lead abatement, particularly smaller units. I understand that the way it's set up, there's a fine, a substantial fine, and there's a fine of $1,000 a week, apparently. For smaller units, that could be quite expensive. My understanding of the cost of remediation is that it might be $15 a square foot. So for a 1,000-foot home, you're basically asking a small landlord of an old place to perhaps come up with $15,000 to do an abatement. There will be the inevitable dealing with the contractors, at which point the contractors will probably say, hey, I was short, I need another $5,000, and the downside risk at that point for people is you're going to pay it and get shaken down by a contractor, or you're going to face $1,000 a week fine. I would request that you consider making some sort of an adjustment. I mean, $1,000 a week is nothing if you got 160 units or you got a big project, but if you're a small landlord, it can be devastating. And related to that question, it seems to me by doing this lead stuff and the requirements, that the owners of the units are exposed to the risk that this will become a blighted area and subject to redevelopment. If we have developers who want to take a run at our residents, that's a good way to do it. You got old buildings, let's redevelop them, knock them down. So my concern is that we'd be pushing people out of town and favoring developers. Set the 3-minute bell.
No, you finish up.
Oprah's a separate issue if you want to talk about that, but
Up to the mayor.
now or later? Now you want it?
Do you want to?
Yeah, you can finish up your
Okay,
question.
so my concern on Oprah is, I don't think, long and short of this, I don't think you should vote for this in the manner set up. The original Oprah law is bad because, among other things, it cost the towns a lot of money because there's a strange setup, apparently, that you can pick up, the other side can pick up attorney fees. This is the wrong answer to that because by abolishing that, what you're basically doing is you're forcing residents to go to court and to pay potentially, $15,000 or $20,000 to get an Oprah request done. It's extremely costly. It's going to deprive people of their rights. People can just sit down and say, well, we're not going to give you stuff and, go sue us. There can be a better road. And I think this is too drastic. For example, you might want to have an arbitration proceeding, a hearing officer or examiner. If that's not considered, basically it's been done on a yes or no thing. The other issue is supposedly, I assume you're basing things on facts and that you've studied this. And so my question would be, you make recitals in there about there being a problem with numerous requests about dog licenses last month, background pool permits, solar roof permits, et cetera, and reciting machine Oprah requests. Are those, in fact, problems you've had in Rochelle Park? And again, that's a question, or let me state it. I would like to know whether those problems, they're problems you've had at Rochelle Park, but whether it's mere hearsay and somebody else told you, we had a problem with this and you'll put it in there. I would contend that you should be making your decisions, if you're writing on this thing, on the facts and not on hearsay. That's it.
Actually, counsel, I'm jumping back to the Oprah.
Yep.
The Oprah, I believe, is legislation that was signed by the Senate Assembly, and I believe, I'm sorry, can you hear me?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Correct.
Wait a minute, I'm getting closer. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I believe that the Oprah that you're talking about was passed through the Assembly and the Senate, and I understand it's on the desk of the governor right now. That language was put in by them, not us. That's the first part of that Oprah question that you're asking. And I've watched it, I've looked at it, I understand your concerns. Now, I think one of the other questions you had, do we have such a problem in Rochelle Park with dog license or pools or other kind of over requests for permits and I believe that was what you asked, right?
Correct.
Okay. So could a person who does the Oprah, do we seem to find a lot of that?
So it's really intended not really for the residents, it's really trying to aim towards these big companies that do these huge Oprah requests. And yes, we do get them in Rochelle Park. And all the 70 towns in Bergen County, every town was asked to do this resolution, and the language came from up above. And yes, but it does hit Rochelle Park, even though we're a small town. It's not aimed towards the residents, it's really the big companies that are requesting these large reports.
Okay. One of the other, if I can somewhat follow up on that, one of the other concerns I've had on the so-called machine requests is some people object that they're anonymous. I think that that's virtuous, and I favor that. The reason being, a lot of people are scared to put requests in the government. A lot of people are scared to come up and put your name out because there may be retaliation. It's not unknown. No, it's not unknown, so you lose the anonymity.
Please?
What's that?
No, answer the member in the audience to keep it quiet.
Okay, and if I could go back, thank you for your questions. But to answer or go into it with the lead-based paint situation, I believe our administrator probably maybe go a little further in that.
What do we need to know? What do we want to know specifically? About the lead abatement?
Basically,
But now, are we on the lead or are we still on Oprah?
We're off Oprah, we're on the lead.
Okay, what do you want to know about the abatement cost? I have no idea.
I got an answer on the lead, I think.
You want an answer on the
But I
lead?
think people should be,
Here's what I'm going to say to that. I think the $1,000 fine is to keep people alive from not getting lead poisoning and passing it on to children that may live in those homes. Because at the end of the day, if a small landlord is aware of the lead, they should probably want to jump out in front and not risk litigation and getting somebody
Now,
sick. So I think the $1,000 is de minimis in regards to somebody's life from lead poisoning. And again,
now let me do a follow-on with that.
Sir, you can't keep.
We're answering the questions.
Yeah,
Thank you. I want to help as much as I can, and I understand your concern, so I'm kind of passing that along. So at least you get an answer of something, right? So that's what we're trying to do. I'm sorry, Administrator.
That was it. I think the $1,000 is a fair number. I know it was reviewed by
Again, that
James
doesn't
Maria.
kick in unless the person refuses to or does not or fails to remediate.
That's the only time it would kick in.
Yes. And that is in line, those fines are in line with other municipalities that I've looked at as well. So we are not out of the ordinary with regard to these application fees, the fines, and everything that's being charged, just so everyone's aware.
So this is a follow-on question. So if in fact, if your concern is.
Sir, we got to move on. We have many members in it.
Okay.
We need to keep asking one after another.
All right.
We got to move on.
All right.
Thank you.
Let you go. Thanks.
Linda Boniface, 33 Parkway. I'm back for 3 minutes. Okay, just to let you know on the Oprah, anytime there is something coming from the legislature, go to the League of Municipalities website. They have an explanation on there. They support this.
Correct.
And they said what it is the legislation preserves access to public records. It addresses privacy concerns, first recommended 2 decades ago, and helps level the playing field regarding attorney fees. There remains work to do on other reforms, and we look forward to working with the legislation on additional reforms going forward. So that's from the League of Municipalities. So that's the convention you go to and where you take your classes. So it's a good source. Okay, Chief Strader, I'm going to ask you again, what is the $40,000 in the fire department operating expenses for?
Numerous repairs to tires that are outdated and need of replacement on several pieces of apparatus, as well as, again, on my desk, you're more than welcome. I'll sit and show you all the quotes for the different items that have to be repaired.
It's not going to pay for a banquet.
Not paying for a banquet as far as I'm concerned.
That's what I heard. Okay, thanks. Deputy Mayor, you have an $80,000 budget with rec, yet you're making the kids at movie night purchase ice cream? Why?
You're making anybody do anything. It's recreation who's doing.
Aren't you the liaison?
Correct. To my knowledge, there's been no ice cream truck ordered. I don't know about that ice cream truck.
I mean, the flyer says ice cream for purchase.
I'll speak to them.
But when I was on, I told them absolutely nobody's purchasing ice cream, they're getting it for nothing. What are we talking, 500, 600? I mean, give it away. Okay, that's all I got for my 3 minutes. I'm under the line. Good.
Chris Muller, Forest Place. You came out of closed session, and what did you do? What went on in there? Was this
A
for the
motion,
120?
so in closed session, a confidential discussion was taking place with regard to negotiations and attorney-client privilege. After closed session, we required this body to pass a motion to permit our attorney to proceed with the confidential action that was discussed in closed session.
Okay, it's closed session. There's a settlement sheet for the 120 with the cars.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something different from that? Because I wanted to ask about that.
The action that we discussed and authorized the development attorney to do has to do with 120, that's correct. But it's confidential because there's obviously negotiations ongoing, and anything that is spread out to the public could have a detrimental effect and impact the municipality with regard to its current contract negotiation position.
Okay, so what is this thing that I have, a settlement term
It's
sheet?
proposed. That's a proposed part of the negotiations.
Right.
So that's all of the items that are being discussed with regard to negotiations.
All right, so this is out there, so my
Yeah,
question.
that's out there, but the
Okay.
position with
All right.
regard to that's.
So my question, one question was on here, it says there's a total sewer connection fee of $449,000. In a planning board resolution from December 16th, 2021, there was a sewer connection fee of $408,000 and an application fee of $68,000, which comes to $476,000. So why is there a difference from the planning board resolution? You know, you're saying 449, the planning board said 476. You might want to negotiate that.
You're combining two numbers, right?
Yeah.
What was the second?
The second one was a application fee. Is that included on the 449?
The only thing discussed is the sewer connection fee. So look at just those numbers, don't look at the application fee.
Okay.
My guess is that's been paid because it's an
That's,
application.
I believe that's
That has
probably
to be
been
paid
paid.
in order for them.
That's not outstanding.
Correct.
Okay, all right, so then the second question is number 9, no more than 239 cars may be parked on the redeveloper's property relating to the lease, right? Is that up in discussion too?
This is one of the negotiating
All right,
discussion topics.
so the cars, there's 131 cars on the bottom, 131 spaces on the bottom, 168 at the top, that's 299. There's 32 outside, that's 331 total. You're saying they can potentially put 239 cars there, which leaves 92 left for the residents.
I'm not going to shake anything.
I'm just
or make
saying.
any position with regard to that because
I'm
it's
just saying,
currently
get your
being
numbers
negotiated.
straight.
Yep, understood. I would tell you that that document speaks for itself in terms of what we are able to permit out, but while we have ongoing discussions, while these meetings are being recorded, I'm not going to say anything that will potentially put us in a lesser bargaining position.
Well, I will. Number 9, 239 cars? No. That's all. Thank you.
Understood.
Diane Verhassel, Forest Place. Two different points. First, at the last meeting, I asked if the police could check on the possibility of not having parking in both sides of Chestnut Street. Driving here today, kids were literally running across the street. There's also people that are parked right up to the corner. Anybody coming from Forest, you had to pull out into Chestnut to see around the corner. But there were kids running across, and again, I'm just worried when camp starts, it's going to be dangerous. So after I asked my question, I was curious if it was looked into. The resolution tonight about the area in need of redevelopment. Do you people know how much the people that own that are currently paying in school taxes? Does anybody know that? Yes, no, maybe? Vinny, do you know? Anybody else? Because that is an important thing. I will tell you, they are currently paying $20,000 in school tax, the owners of the property, with nothing on it. If you vote for the pilot program, what you are doing is voting to raise people's taxes, resident taxes. Right now, I know, like I said, they're paying, if this goes through and they pay anything less than $20,000, the residents of this town are the ones that are going to have to make up the difference. And you're taking an area that is a business, turning it into a residential area. So right now, 0 kids. For the amount of apartments, and I know Mr. Bernanke was here, came up with weird numbers all the time. I know when Teresa was on the school board, they discussed that. You're going to add kids no matter what because it's residential. So you're taking an area that's business, no children, to an area with whatever number of children, which will increase school tax. And I am asking every person on this municipal board, do not, when the time comes for taxes, blame the school board. Because they are not the ones that are going to cause the school tax to go up. It's going to be every one of you if you vote for a pilot program. They have a fixed income. They can't just go out and keep bonding for things. And if you vote for a pilot program and you say residents, you have to make up the difference, you're going to tell the residents they have to pay more towards supporting the school. And that's if you guys all vote for the pilot program. It will be on all of you. Please remember that when you vote for that. Thank you. Oh. I'm sorry. Chief, did you guys have a chance to look at Chestnut Street?
Lieutenant Kukowski was instructed to do so, and he's working on it.
He's working on it. Okay, so maybe by the next meeting he'll have a chance?
I doubt it. He's been on vacation, and,
Well, can anybody else do it? I mean, driving here today, every afternoon from the time, maybe 5 o'clock till it gets dark, there's kids on that field. Any of your officers can drive up and down that street and see cars on both sides of the street. I understand he's in charge of traffic.
it's currently legal to park on both sides.
I know. I'm asking for it to not be, because I don't want to wait till a kid runs across the street and they're killed, and we go, should have done something about it. They do it now. The parents park on both sides of the street, ask their kids to run across the street. They run between the cars, and you can't see them. And anybody who drives anywhere up and down that street knows that. And when camp starts, the parents do the same thing. They go up and down, they don't want to get out of their cars, so-and-so, run across the street, and even in daylight, it's bad. So I'm saying there are many places that they have no parking between this time and this time. It would save kids. That's how I look at it. To me, that's very important.
If I may. Chief, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe there's a stop sign at the end of Chestnut turning right onto Berdan, correct?
No, there's a stop sign from Berdan to turn onto Chestnut.
So if you're going down to the bottom of the hill, is there a stop sign there to turn? So there's a stop sign coming from the other way?
Correct.
So if you're parking on Berdan to Chestnut, you have to be so many feet away from the sign?
Correct.
But they're not. Is that what Ms. Verhassel's? I'm sorry. I'm sorry? You're Christina Holtz? Thank you.
Today's the only park on the corner.
Burdan and Chestnut?
Make the left on Chestnut, and then you go past that car.
So once again, I'm going to remind members of the public, 201-843-1515. Absolutely call when you see these violations. We'll get an officer over there. We can't be everywhere all the time. I wish we could be, we just can't.
Christina, I'm sorry, excuse me, 1 second. Excuse me, Mr. Hassel. Ms. Holtz, can you come up to the mic for 1 second, please?
So it's on the record.
Would you state your name and address so it's on the record, please?
Christina Holtz, 82 Forest Place.
So what you saw today was,
The corner of Brooks and Chestnut. Car parked on the corner, not on Brooks, not on Chestnut, on the corner.
okay, so,
Then you come here, car here,
where's here?
on Chestnut.
Okay,
Cars from the top of Chestnut and Brooks all the way down to Chestnut. So you can only go one car at a time. Mind you, Chestnut's a hill. So if there's a car waiting at the top for the person on the bottom to come up, there's only one lane of traffic in there.
I understand.
And there's kids all in, so I think that's what Mr. House was saying. We were talking about it before I came home from ShopRite today. And no less than 5 kids are just jumping out in the street. Cars at the top can't see the people at the bottom. People are stopped in the middle of the street waiting for their kids. It's a Chestnut between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock is a disaster. Every day.
And what I'm assuming is they're in Carlock Field doing sports or something else, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, there's not a lot of parking in a little tiny parking lot that's
Of course
there.
not.
So,
But maybe it would be safer to have one side of the street parking on the house side of Chestnut, so that at least if the kids are coming off of Carlock, you can see them on the curb, so that there's space for a car to either A, go around, B, you can see the kids, because by the time they get past those cars parked there, they're in the middle of the street, and there's already a car coming this way or this way.
I understand your
It's
concern.
unsafe.
I totally understand your concern, and I think the chief did say that it is being looked into. Hopefully, it could be looked into sooner than later, God forbid. We don't want anything to happen, right? So,
Yeah.
this is a concern, but the chief also said, if you see a car parked that close, I believe, how many feet is it, chief? Is it 50 feet from a stop
From
sign?
the stop sign, yes.
It's 50 feet. So if you say, hey, this car is like
Yeah.
2 feet away from the stop sign, I'm just going to give us a
It
silly
was 50
example.
feet beyond the stop sign, like it was parked like on the curb, like. And there's no stop sign on Chestnut and Brooks. It's on.
No,
Brooks
I'm
this
talking
way.
about Burdan. Yeah, I'm talking about Burdan and
Right,
Chestnut.
but we're saying on Chestnut.
Right,
there's
but
no-
whether a car's parked on
No, we're not worried about the
Burdan
bottom of the block.
and Chestnut that was so close to the stop sign,
No,
that's what I wanted to clarify.
no, it was at the corner of Brooks and Chestnut, not Burdan. There's no stop sign, top of the hill.
The top of the
And to
hill.
be honest, we were asking about cars parking at the bottom. If the parents want to park on Sandpit, they do not want to have their kids walk for some reason, even though they're just playing sports for 2 hours. If they park going down on one side of the street, it would be safer. But they want to park at the top, at the crest of the hill here, crest of the hill here, pull their kids across.
I understand.
So if they park at the bottom or in Burdan, there would be plenty of parking.
Well, okay, great. But if you see something, you would say something, right? So the police number is 201-843-1515. So, and you have a genuine concern, in my opinion. So, the chief is going to have an investigator. Hopefully. Thank you.
Chief, isn't one of the challenges with that is that if we have parking on one side, the parents will be 3, 4, or 5 blocks away because it'll double the distance of how far they could be, and they won't even be able to see where their children are.
Part of looking at this is the big picture. If we put parking only on the house side of the street, now the children still have to cross Chestnut Street, which is notorious for higher speeds. I don't want to say speeding, but people will do 25 to 20 to 30 miles per hour versus most of our other side streets that they're only doing 21 to 25. If we eliminate parking on the house side, you're now telling all those residents they can't park in front of their own home. That's the challenge. And then again, like you said, if you eliminate 30 spots, 25 spots, whatever it may be, you're now just extending it out to where the parking complaint's going to be. I hear you, I understand.
I just want you to know, I talked to some of those residents, it's not their cars on the street. Just so you're aware, like any other time.
Understood, but the one time they want to put them out there, they're not going to be able to, and we'll hear what those complaints. So yes, to your question, that is one of the issues.
So I don't see how that's an issue because they have to park further up the street and maybe walk a little further. How is that an issue? Somebody please explain that to me. How is that an issue that you have to 1 second, Mr. Mathis. How is that an issue that you have to park further up and you have to walk further to the sand pit?
So these are T-ball age children I'm gathering based on.
I don't know their age now. I'm gonna say I don't know their age.
I can help. I can help.
My understanding,
I can help with this big time.
but
Okay.
if you can, email me or call me, and we'll.
I get 3 minutes.
You do. I don't want to take up. I don't want to take up your time. You good?
Andrew
Your time.
Matson, 14 El Dorado Court. First, Doug Doyle being here, I went back and watched the February 28th meeting, and he recommended to everybody here to hire an independent financial advisor that actually works for the town and will advise on whether we need a pilot or not, because I don't know if anybody in this room is really qualified for that. I don't know if we've done that. I really don't. In that same meeting, I think he also kind of touched on this topic we're talking about. And he kind of talked about a pilot program in terms of a developer coming to town and seeing the value in that property and whether they think they need a pilot or not. And now how does that connect to this conversation? Well, Diane, the reason that parents don't want to park all the way down there is because there's no trees in this town. And when there's no trees in town, it feels a lot hotter. And when you walk around, it sucks, period. And a mom with kids doesn't want to have to get lathered up in sunblock multiple times a day just to walk to and from their car to the field. And part of making this town more walkable would bring in better developers. And really, it's kind of all connected. And we need trees in this town to make people feel like they can walk from one person's house to another, to walk to the municipal building, to walk to a business and spend money, to walk to the field to watch the kids play a baseball game, to walk to Rochelle Park Day. Whatever it is, it builds a community that we currently lack, and that's my opinion.
Anybody else from the public? This time I'll ask for a motion to close public portion.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
May I ask for a motion to approve the minutes as listed below? Regular meeting minutes dated May 8th, 2024, and closed session minutes dated May 8th, 2024. Ask for a motion.
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Tucci?
Yes.
Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Judge Covello?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Gissetti?
Yes. Ordinance introduction and ordinance to amend chapter 150 of the Code of the Township. Mayor asks for a motion to introduce by the title of the first reading ordinance number 1205-24 by the way of resolution 024-123, an ordinance to amend chapter 150 of the code, lead-based paint inspection, which shall provide a requirement for inspectors of lead-based paint in certain residential dwelling, and is to be published in full, the Bergen Record, with notice of public hearing to be held on June 12, 2024. Ask for motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Tucci?
Yes.
Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Judge Covello?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
And Mayor Gissetti?
Yes. May I ask for a motion to introduce by title the first reading ordinance number 1206-24 by the way of resolution number 024-124, an ordinance to amend chapter 28 of the Code of the Township of Rochelle Park, and specifically to amend section 228-1 titled Composition of Department, Temporary Employees, Compensation, and to be published in full in the Bergen Record with notice of public hearing to be held on June 12, 2024. Make the motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Tucci?
Yes.
Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Judge Covello?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
And Mayor Gissetti?
Yes. May I ask for a motion to introduce by title the first reading ordinance number 1207-24 by the way of resolution number 024-125, an ordinance to amend chapter 185 of the Code of the Township of Rochelle Park, Land Use and Development Regulation, specifically to amend subsection 185-145, scope and purpose. It will be published in full, the Bergen Record, with notice of the public hearing to be held on June 12, 2024. Ask for a motion.
Can I just, 1 second on the record really quick, just one amendment, just for the public's benefit. The ordinance is to amend chapter 185 of the code, Township. It has specifically 185, 145, but it's actually 185, 145 through 185, 158, 157, okay? So that's the amendment to the introduction. So it's 185, 145 through 185, 157.
All right.
Okay, can you please ask for the motion again, Mayor?
Ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Tucci?
Yes.
Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Judge Covello?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacini?
Yes. Mayor, ask for a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance number 1204-24, an ordinance to amend chapter 31 of the Code of the Township of Rochelle Park entitled Public Works Superintendent of, that subsection 31-6, tree removal and replacement. Ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Tucci? Yes. Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Judge Covello?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Pacini?
Yes. Mayor, ask for a motion to close public hearing on this ordinance and that it be adopted with notice of final passage to be published in the Bergen.
Did we open the hearing?
You have to open it.
Oh,
Yeah, motion to open to the hearing
Yes.
first, and then you can close and pass after that.
Ask for a motion to open this portion to the.
We did. That's,
Oh,
Oh, okay.
but you have to look for public.
Yeah, ask if any member of the public.
Anybody can want to speak about it?
anybody from the public like to come up to speak on these matters?
And then you could ask for a motion to close and to adopt.
Don't see anybody. Ask for a motion to close.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Tucci?
Yes.
Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Judge Covello?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Pacini?
Yes.
And now you need a motion to adopt it too.
That was supposed to be both.
Yeah, but it was read as just a motion
It's
to close.
okay,
so
you could
just
do it
for
separate.
adopt.
You could
Yeah,
do separate adoption motion, that's fine.
Good, you could ask for a motion to adopt.
Ask for a motion to adopt.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Tucci?
Yes.
Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Judge Covello?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Pacini?
Yes.
Before we move on, I just have a question. We had voted on regular meeting minutes and closed session minutes. Teresa, did you want to abstain from closed?
That was from the last month, the last meeting.
Right, but
It
did,
was corrected, the meeting, if they were updated for the
Okay.
regular minutes.
yeah, but you abstained from closed.
It's
last-
actually in the minutes that it has that I was not present at the time, so I abstained.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to be clear.
Right.
All items listed below are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the Township Committee and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a committee member or citizen so requests, in which case item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered its normal sequence of the agenda as part of the general orders. Resolution number 024-126 through 024-133.
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to call the resolution number 024-128 for separate discussion or separate vote, and/or separate vote.
Okay. Motion to pass, resolution number 024-126, 024-127, 0241-9 through,
No, nine moved up, right?
yeah, 129, skip to
We
128,
moved
just
that
pull
out.
that.
Yeah, 129, 130, and 131.
And through 136.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Tucci? Yes. Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Judge Covello?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
Mayor Pacini?
Yes. All right, open for discussion, 024-128, resolution authorizing the execution of redevelopment agreement with Rochelle Park Urban Renewal LLC.
Discussion or vote,
Oh,
separate
do you
vote
want to
too.
discuss?
If anybody has discussion, that's
Oh.
fine. If not, I'd like a separate vote on it, please.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Ask for a motion for separate vote on resolution number 024-128, resolution authorizing the execution of redevelopment agreement with Rochelle Park Urban Renewal LLC. A motion to put that up for a vote?
No, motion.
Motion vote.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Deputy Mayor Tucci? Yes. Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Judge Covello?
My answer is no, and I'd like to explain why. I have no problem having part of this redevelopment agreement where it has the redevelopment of the area. What I do have a problem is with the language of the pilot and financial agreement, Article 8, Section 8.01. I do not agree with the language that's here, so my answer is no.
Committeeman Miller?
I'm also voting no because I also take issue with Article 8, which is titled Pilot and Financial Agreement. So my vote is no.
Mayor Passetti?
Yes. I think that's it. Make the motion to adjourn?
Hold on one second, if I may.
Yes.
So I know it might be a little early, but in September, we have two meetings, and one is on September 11th. I'd like to ask if we could either move that meeting or just have one meeting in September. If we can look into that, even we could discuss it for work session or whatever next month, but just, that's I don't know if the actual ceremony, I have to see if the Legion is doing that
The
ceremony.
Legion usually does it
that
on the
night.
actual day, and it would be a conflict. So
So I'd rather not have that conflict if we could discuss it, or maybe we can decide tonight. I don't know. Council?
Whatever the township committee wants to, you can certainly make a decision tonight.
So we could either have one meeting with combined, right? Or just move that work
Did you
session.
guys do it Tuesday?
Why don't we just combine it and just do one meeting?
Why don't we just combine them?
Yeah, I'm
And
good
do it
with
at the end?
Do it on the, then it would be the 25th, just do one meeting on the 25th.
I mean, it's up to a vote, but
So in the past, even in the summer, there were times where we did have to
July.
have two meetings just because we had business to take care of. So I like your suggestion to have one, but with the flexibility that if we have business to take care of, we would try to find another date that we could all agree with to have a second
As long as it's
meeting.
advertised.
And we have to properly advertise, of course.
I'm good with that.
You can call an emergency meeting.
so at any time you can have an emergency meeting. So even with that flexibility, you're allowed to do that. So if you decide to have a dual meeting, that's fine. But if something should come up of urgency, you have that right to have what they call an urgent meeting. So is that what, I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
This is what I'm saying, is that it is possible.
So we're all agreeing to that then.
Everybody's in agreement with just doing one on September 25th.
Right, but if something should come up, then
We'll figure something out.
great. Thank you.
Okay.
Be a motion
Yep,
to.
so I'd like to ask for a motion
To
to
move.
cancel September's 11th meeting to combine it to September 25th for a double meeting on that date. Ask for motion?
So motion.
I'll second.
Deputy Mayor Peachy?
Yes.
Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeewoman Judge Covello?
Yes.
Committeeman Miller?
Yes.
And Mayor Passetti?
Yes.
That's it. yeah.
All advertised.
Ask for a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Next meeting, work session, June 12th, 2024, 7 PM. Meeting's adjourned.